Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Astrology This Week report for January 27th through February 2nd, 2025. I've been having such a fun time doing these weeklies, and I've gotten great feedback from you all that you love it, so I will continue. This is for all signs. Okay, so the layers that we're going to talk about here are general transits, and this is what's happening right now. So you can see to many of my other reports for other things that I will reference and mention those, but we're going to talk about the things that are most highlighted this week. Okay, so we've got Mercury joining the Aquarius party, going from Capricorn to Aquarius on the 27th, right at the beginning of the week. And over the time, starting from around maybe the 26th, 27th, 28th, building to the 28th and 29th, Pluto and the Sun are actually going to have a conjunction, which means that they will be together. So Mercury will be in Aquarius, Ceres is in Aquarius, Pluto and the Sun will come together at the same degree of Aquarius. And on the 29th, we have a new moon at 9 degrees of Aquarius. Also the lunar new year, the year of the snake. This is a very auspicious time. And this is a very powerful week and a powerful combination of energies. Now, in my video, New Moon in Aquarius, it's called Supercharged Alignments. You can find that on podcast. You can find that on my YouTube channel. I'll talk more, like very much in depth about the new moon and the different aspects that are happening at this time as it weaves into the new moon. So I'm not going to do double work there, but just want to point out that one of the things you'll be feeling so strongly is the energy of Aquarius. And there are so many different ways. Mercury moving there on the 27th, Pluto and the Sun combining on the 28th and 29th with an influence of days before and after. And you're also going to be feeling the energy of Uranus waking up on the 30th. So, Uranus rules Aquarius. So this is a very Aquarian time, a time of disruptions, a time of revitalization. This is a time of empowerment, sudden empowerment. Could also be a time of power struggles, complements to Pluto, but the energy of change, the energy of a revitalization, the energy of a new cycle, is very, very, very woven into this time. And this week is embodying all of this energy. Something else that's happening this week is that we're actually entering eclipse season. The eclipses are in March, and I'll talk about those more in the February report, which, by the way, my February report for each sign is actually in one video and one podcast. For February, they're not in individual ones this time, but they are broken down and time-stamped for each sign, and they are very in-depth, and the theme of that is called Tsunami of Change. So this energy of Tsunami of Change is actually very much happening this week. It's happening in February. It's happening from various factors, which I get into in that report. But some of those things are dovetailing into Uranus waking up, into the Aquarian energies, Pluto in Aquarius, Pluto combining with the Sun, Mercury going into Aquarius, the new moon in Aquarius. This is a very alive, lightning strike type of energy. Things coming out of the blue. We've had a very strong Aquarian energetic from the time that Pluto has been, moving into Aquarius, but also the Pluto-Mars opposition at the beginning of the month. It was January 1st that really influenced the last 10 days of December, the first 10 days of January. That was a little bit of a different energy because there was an opposition involved, and the things I'm talking about here are not oppositions, but, terrible disruptions like the LA fires, and, I know we had crazy weather in Alaska during that time, and I'm sure there were any number of disruptions that were going on at that time. But that opposition was including Pluto in Aquarius. So the energy of disruption through that opposition was very profound and in many cases not good at all. However, simultaneously, there was running then, and there will also be even stronger this week, the chance for positive disruptions. Okay, now I'm not saying that there's not a chance for negative disruptions from all of this Aquarian energy. There certainly is. But there is also a stronger chance that some of these things can be very positive. Sudden solutions to long-standing problems, sudden agreements, and Pluto combining with Mercury. This is a huge, huge, huge time for collaboration, meeting of the minds, brainstorming. If you want to take advantage of these energetics and align your energy with the natural rhythms of the universe, then having important conversations with people, gathering with like-minded groups to try to solve problems, this is the time to do it. So, that's really what you can use this energy for in a positive, proactive way. Something else that I talk about that's important to mention, as I'm saying that eclipse season is beginning, eclipse season begins about 4 to 6 weeks before the actual eclipses, and the actual eclipses are in March, but now is opening up this time when eclipse stories that had settled down into the unconscious, settled down into the behind the scenes after the fall of 2024, or spring for you all, Dananda, had kind of like gotten active then and then gotten a little bit, kind of into the backdrop again. Those storylines are going to start awakening here in this week at the end of January, the beginning of February, because we're ushering in eclipse season. Okay, so the 4 to 6 weeks before the eclipses occur, we start to get news, information, big pieces coming in. And the fact that Pluto ruling these profound transformations and Mercury ruling information and news, a lot of people are going to get big news this week, and that's going to be from this combination, but also from the fact that the eclipse storylines are now bubbling up into the consciousness again. We will have a very big conclusion to the 2-year Aries Libra eclipse cycle that started in 2023. So changes that had happened during that time are going to come back for their final conclusion, and you may see some of those storylines pop up now. Something else that's active all week is that Venus is going to start its pre-retrograde shadow period. So from this week until March 1st, we're in the pre-retrograde shadow period. So all of these energetics of Venus retrograde, Venus, which rules love and beauty and romance and money and finance and design, all of those energies are going to start to move backwards, and you'll get your Venus goggles on. This is something that I have used to describe what happens during Venus retrograde. And actually, I've written extensively. My book, Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe, is very focused on personal planet retrogrades. And in fact, my most viewed video is my video on Venus retrograde. So this is one of my areas of expertise that I've been following for decades. And when Venus retrograde happens, you get Venus goggles on, which means you're not seeing love, beauty, relationships, design clearly. Okay, so I'm not going to go into a ton about this, but you may start to see some things shifting. And you can search for Annie Botticelli Venus retrograde. And for the questions that I will get about this, my hair is super short there, and my hair is super long now. So no, I didn't cut my hair. That was a while ago. So you can look to that. But also when you sign up for my newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com, you do get my retrograde resource page, which compiles all of the things I do on retrogrades in one place. So that is a perk there, but you can search for it organically and try to find it as well. Okay, so this week is ushering in this storyline. It could also be money coming back from the past, things that worked in the past, doing things that you did before that worked in love or money or design or your appearance. Going back into those things can be very favorable in the retrogrades. Feel that energy all week from the 27th to the 2nd. That's going to start deepening in its strength. Okay, so in the days around the 30th, so we'll say very strong, the 29th, the 30th, and 31st, we're going to have an amazing, so exciting angle with the Sun and with Jupiter. Jupiter trines are one of the best times to do something important. Okay, so if you didn't already know this, I will give you a very big piece of astrological info. The days that you initiate something or do something important are birthdays for that thing. Just as we are subject to the influences of our natal chart for our rest of our lives, a project will be subject to the energetics of when its birth chart was. So if you do something important, launch something, start something, it will have a birth date of what's going on, or a birth energy of what is going on at that time. So these days around the 29th, 30th, 31st are really ripe and really ready to do important things, because you've got this trine worked in. The Sun elucidating, Jupiter expanding. And by the way, Jupiter's about to wake up on February 4th. And this week, we're feeling that all January. It's been in this phase of things waking up. That's been a big theme of January. Once Mercury post-shadow transit ended at the beginning of the month, we've been moving through Mars retrograde, but Mars was going to go direct in February 23rd. Uranus is going direct this week now. Jupiter will go direct next week. Then a couple of weeks after that, Mars will go direct. And there's this story, even though Venus is going to be getting sleepier, all of these energies are waking up. And Uranus is the big waker upper. So all of this Uranian energy, this Aquarius energy, now this Jupiter trine, Uranus waking up, Jupiter waking up, is a time for you to start to take action and make some forward movement, even despite the fact that Mars is in retrograde. So if you've got your biggest lifetime achievement that you're trying to accomplish or plan, this might not be the time for it unless it's coming to you and you can't help it. Like if it happens to be coming to you, you know, and you're not the one planning it, then just roll with it. But if you're doing a big once in a lifetime launch of your lifetime of work, you may want Mars to be direct for that. Okay, so that might not be the time. This week might not be the time for those types of launches. But most launches in life are not those types of launches. An epic promo, like for instance, the one that I am running. I've got an epic promo when you sign up for my astrology mastery course. I'll get more back to that later. But just to kind of illustrate the energy of this week, that promo I'm going to have is not going to be in effect for a super long time. It's not the culmination of my life work. It is a course that I already am teaching. But this week is a fantastic time to be promoting something that is intended to be short term, but you want a big outcome from. All right. So this is the type of thing that you can align with and do at this time. So you want to take advantage of that energy, because it's really strong, and the power of Pluto and Mercury together, the power of the Sun and Jupiter coming together, the power of the new moon, the power of in Aquarius, the power of Chinese New Year beginning. All of these are new cycles, new beginnings, and, really powerful things to work into a birthday of something that you may, start at this time. The Sun and Jupiter combining like this can bring amazing optimism, can bring upliftment, can bring creative solutions, can bring an expanded way of seeing things, a change in your perspective or your environment, or in some level of your experience. It's really solution oriented, and it is the best, most sacred geometrical aspect in all of astrology. Now, speaking of which, I wanted to share with you an insight that I had today, which has to do with symmetry being divine. Okay, we see the golden ratio within many, many things in nature, in ourselves, in life, in the solar system. The Fibonacci sequence, we can see the golden ratio at play even in between the mean distance between the planets in our solar system. This code, this sacred God code, is woven into life. And I really see the divine in the coherent and in the symmetrical, okay? And the asymmetrical is the humanness. It's the not quite perfect. It's the messier. It's the, it's the very much related to the energy of Uranus. Okay, so this is a very, Uranus influenced month because it rules Aquarius, and we have all this energy in Aquarius, and the new moon, and the combination of Pluto and Aquarius, and all of this energy, and Uranus waking up. It's messy. It's disruptive. It's not coherent, and it's not symmetrical. This is the energy of the, the person who has half of their hair cut super short and the other half long. It's a beauty that is not coherent. It's not symmetrical, but it is very Uranus based, and it is very human. It's showing us that there's beauty in the divine, and there's beauty in the coherent, but there's also beauty in the asymmetrical and the not perfect. And embracing that in ourselves and embracing that in life is something that this week, this time, can be very powerful for. This week may be full of breakthrough conversations and breakthrough collaborations and breakthrough brainstorming and, sudden insights, lightning strike insights that can be fleeting, but very powerful. So some ways to work with this Uranian energy at this time is to take action on insights. The moving direct of these outer planets, it really is denoting a time to start to take action on the things that we've been pondering. If they're in alignment, if they feel good, if your intuition is supporting it, if the synchronicity is saying so. It's a time to be open to surprises. It's a time to embrace innovation. You may see an upgrade to your technological things. Aquarius rules technology. So you may get a new, fancier car with all the bells and whistles, or a new phone, or a new computer, or something like that. embracing innovation and futuristic thinking and collaborating with other people on these topics. It would be an amazing time for a convention on futuristic thinking or, humanitarian things. This could be a time to reclaim your independence and to experiment. Retrograde energy is really great for experimenting with low stakes things, especially because if you experiment and it doesn't work out and it's not really that much lost from it, those are the perfect things to experiment with, here still in this Mars retrograde energy. And it's a really great time to welcome evolution. Starry connections are unconscious factors that direct our lives. And the more we're aware of them, they become conscious factors that are directing our lives. And the more our consciousness mixes with this energy, it brings about conscious evolution. So just you knowing that these things are happening so that you can understand the things that are going on better, that you can actively use it. Maybe from this recording now, you'll go have an important conversation with someone that brings out things from Pluto, the underworld, that needed to be dealt with, that gets together powerful people or people trying to empower themselves and other people from this Plutonian, perspective. It's a time for all of that. And when you know that, you may be more inclined to do that. But if you didn't know that and you've automatically aligned these things happening, then you are, tuning into the unseen realm and you're being moved by these forces that were unconscious that are now conscious because, I'm telling you, and you're taking the time to listen. So I'm going to close out the week with one more aspect that will be influencing from the 29th, 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. But before that, I want to take a moment to share something that's important to me. YouTube is making it a little bit more difficult for content creators to connect others to their paid services. And most of my work in the world is free. Most of you who are benefiting from my work will never give me any money, and I'm completely fine with that. I'm very much into free education and offering things that we're good at that we can help empower people in the world. But when people do purchase my few things that I do have for sale, that gives me what I need so that I can continue doing all this free stuff. And it has never let me down. So that's why, 90% of my time I spend on free things. So, but I do have paid services. And right now I have epic promos. Okay, so we're going to get back to the report here in a minute, but I want to let you know that I've got a new, never been offered before, and only available through this promo series called my Celestial Mindscape series that uses frequencies, very complicated structure of these to help you have a profound journey into synchronicity, self-discovery, and soul awakening. They're very powerful. They were put together by my expert sound engineer specialist husband for me to give you when you register for my Astrology Mastery Certification course. You get this for free, and it's only available this way, and it's really, really cool. Also, you'll receive every single other course in my school for free when you register for this one. So it is a time of epic promos. If you have wanted to learn astrology to help yourself and your friends and your family, or to get paid for loving astrology and doing astrology, I can help you do that. That is my area of expertise, is converting your passion into earning money and helping people at the same time. All right, so go to beastropro.com. I will have the link in the notes underneath the video in the podcast, but some of these don't sync over to the venue that you're watching or listening on. If you have trouble with the beastropro.com link, you can go to anniehelpsyou.com and scroll down to click on Learn Astrology and find the astrology certification course that way. Okay, so back to this last transit. As I said, in the days around the 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, this will be building. The 1st is when it actually happens. The 2nd, the 3rd, into the 4th, maybe even the 5th, you will be feeling it. This building story of Venus and Neptune combining. Okay, so the energy of Venus and Neptune coming together is very much like Venus retrograde in a lot of ways. It makes us rethink things. It brings idealism. It brings those glasses, So at this week, you might not be seeing clearly in love, and that is, or money, or your appearance. And that is a trend to come, okay? That is going to be developing over February, March, April, and kind of lingering, after that into May. But for these days, it's extra strong. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful time to have a romantic encounter with someone that you trust. to, it could be amazing for dating, but again, be mindful, you might not be seeing things clearly, but it could just be a beautiful unity-based connection, or it doesn't even have to be romantic. This can be just a meeting of the hearts. I said there might be a lot of meetings of the minds this week from all the Aquarius energy and the Pluto Mercury thing going on. This is the energy of meeting of the hearts, okay? And it's all happening this week. So you may see the meeting of the hearts and the meeting of the minds, and this really heart-based collaboration at this time. It could be great for earning money from art. Pisces rules artistic and healing work. So some sort of boost to your finances from doing those kind of things. You could definitely look out for heightened creativity and inspiration at this time. Venus, the planet of art and beauty, combining with Neptune's imagination, can create this perfect environment for creative endeavors and what I like to call private personal pursuits, or personal pursuits with a close group of people. You definitely may feel this inspiration to paint or to write or to dance or to explore other artistic outlets, and it would be a perfect time for doing that. You also may notice heightened empathy or compassion, romantic idealism. Existing relationships can feel renewed and energized with this emphasis on forgiveness and compassion. You may feel very strong spiritual connection, either through meditation or through combining with somebody else. This unity with the universe is definitely a positive outcome from this connection. But there are some things to watch out for. I do want to make you aware of them so that you're prepared in the event that they come, so you can make your decisions, just take into consideration what I'm about to share when you make decisions from this energy, okay? There could be this over-idealization. I told you that this is a trend that will continue. There's definitely a risk of ignoring red flags and over-romanticizing financial or business things, as well as design. Not seeing clearly in design, or like body design, or, that's why this might not be the best time to cut all of your hair off. This might not be the best time to get a tattoo, maybe get a henna one in the place that you were wanting to, so you can try it on. That would be really good. There may be escapism. So definitely Neptune's influence can encourage escapism and addictive types of things, avoidance of responsibilities, retreat into fantasy, things like that. Unhealthy distractions as a coping mechanism, it could cloud your judgment. It also could cause breaches of security. So with your finances, if you're listening to this at the earlier part of the week, and you might want to implement some protections to your credit cards and use some of the new services that they're having. If you're not aware of these, you can get a virtual card that, is more protected. And you can also use a new number for different vendors. So if you're going to order something online from a vendor you're not familiar with, you could use one of those services to protect your finances. You may look into, credit protective services, and all those would be really good things right now. Look out for boundary issues. That can definitely, lack of boundaries and causing trouble for you from lack of boundaries. You may be more susceptible to people taking advantage of you, or you overextending yourself. Okay, so just take the sweet potentials here with these warnings to kind of just, look out for those potentials so you can protect yourself. All right, so I'm going to list a couple of ways that you can get more information about this time. Look for my February 2025 Tsunami of Change time-stamped horoscope report with a general overview for everyone to start, and then time-stamped individual zodiac reports. Look for my new moon in Aquarius called Supercharged Alignments, because this new moon, I really go into a lot of detail about the concurrent things happening and how it feeds into the new moon and how to use that. If you want to get all of my content early, go to anniehelpsyou.com. And I send out a weekly newsletter that has content that you get before I post it publicly. So I think all of that is except for the weeklies, because the weeklies but everything else you would get early, and sometimes other things. You get my Eclipse resource page, my retrograde resource page, my zodiac health tips, my 28-day virtual coaching program, and my monthly written star report 1 month early with my sweet and salty dates. Okay, and so much more. So, and sometimes you also get promos that are not publicly available. This one I'm doing now is publicly available, but sometimes there are ones just for the group. Okay, so you can see all that at anniehelpsyou.com. And if you're interested in readings and personal reports, go to anniebclarity.com. Annie, the letter B, clarity.com. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. All right, take care. Bye.